What is up, everyone? My name is OJ and welcome to my village of PlayerEssence, where all of you PE ninjas can come get your latest Nintendo Switch and gaming news. So guys, we are so close to the release of the Nintendo Switch, but there's still some more news that we need to get into first and foremost. So Konami is considering reviving older franchises based on Super Bomberman R's success. Well, not really based on the success, but I guess it would spur them to do so. So recently in an interview they talked about this, and here is what Konami's Benjamin Kinney had to say about Bomberman as far as its revival and what that could mean for other characters in Konami's vast library, such as, like, you know, a little franchise called Castlevania coming back. So here was the question posed to him: if Super Bomberman R proves to be successful, can we count on seeing more classic Konami IPs such as Boktai, Bomon, Sudoken, and Castlevania? He didn't say that in here, but and Castlevania being revived. And then here's what Kinney had to say on the matter. Regardless of Super Bomberman R's success, we're always evaluating opportunities for all of our IPs. That is a pretty cut and dry standard PR release, and the reason why I want to talk about this, because I can never not talk about Bomberman and Castlevania. Like, when Bomberman gets brought up, you got to talk about Castlevania. Like, when you talk about Castlevania, you can talk about Bomberman too. They have a lot of other franchises, but those franchises that he just listed as far as in the question, but Bomberman, amazing. So we definitely need to see Super Bomberman R do well, and hopefully Castlevania comes back. And this is definitely deja vu because I just talked about this the other day. But anyway, moving on to the next article here. Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. It will work natively on your PC. So there is a new video from Dre Wolf, and he has released this basically saying, yes, it is compatible natively. You do not need to download any type of drivers. All you have to do is just really sync it up to your PC via Bluetooth, and you will not need a USB cable to pair it up. Now, some PCs don't have Bluetooth built in, so you're going to need that USB cable if you want to use it. Just depends on what PC you are using. But yeah, if you have Bluetooth in your PC, you are good. It should sync up, it should show up on there, and then you'll be able to use your Nintendo Switch Pro Controller for all of your PC games and whatever supports controllers. So that's actually pretty cool, because I know you need drivers and stuff for the Xbox One controller and for the PS3 controller. I know you just need to plug it in or something like that. I'm not sure if it automatically syncs or anything like that, but either way, it's just cool to always have this type of support for PC, especially for a lot of gamers out there that are PC Nintendo type of gamers. They get all their third parties on PC, then they get all their first parties on Nintendo. This is definitely good for them, so they can play their PC games with an awesome controller, in my opinion, which is the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. No telling on how the battery still lasts. I mean, I would think the battery would still be just as good on PC as it is with Nintendo Switch, but you never know when you're talking about a whole different device here. So pretty cool stuff there. But next we're going to move on to the main topic here, and that is Koizumi-san on the Nintendo Switch. Initial vision using well-established tech and Joy-Con colors, in addition to the power of this system when it comes to how Nintendo designs things. So let's start off about halfway here. We're going to start off with the question on building off everything else the company has done previously. So here's what Koizumi-san had to say on the matter. We wanted to take a more flexible approach to the hardware design this time. For example, previously we have always used a custom system on chip, CPU and GPU, but this time we wanted to use a more well-established technology, partly so that we would be easier for third-party developers to create games for the system. In that respect, Nintendo Switch represents a break from some of our traditions. However, our previous designs gave us valuable experience and provide insight into what the important parts of a system are, and this is reflected in the design. Now, moving on to the GPU speed and how that's less important for the other consoles' features in Nintendo's opinion. Here's what Koizumi-san had to say on the matter. For Nintendo, the axis of improvement for each generation is the system concept. To make it possible to play a game system at home or on the go seamlessly, we had to take a different perspective and consider factors such as battery usage of the system on a chip. This is a different axis than simply improving processing power, so we selected design elements that fit the type of product we wanted to produce. This was definitely the case for the Nintendo Switch, and I'll definitely talk about that after I'm done with this last part here. And on the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con colors, the theme of the Nintendo Switch is the ability to be able to take it anywhere with you and play with someone else. So we wanted to differentiate the colors when playing with two people. As for the specific color combinations chosen, everyone had various feelings, and there were many discussions, including wanting to have red be the right controller because they both start with R. I think we finally arrived at the best option. So let's talk about the GPU speed and how Nintendo does things. I personally think that if Nintendo wasn't going to do some type of hybrid device this time, they would have definitely went with something that was more, I guess, teraflops in power. But the fact that you have a hybrid device makes things a lot trickier. There's no way you're going to be able to pack a PS4 Pro or Xbox Scorpio into something so small as far as the form factor. So I think what Nintendo did the best thing as far as battery usage, like they said here, in addition to power. So what's going to get me the best power? What can we do to optimize this with custom APIs and other things that they're doing? How can we do that that's also going to have great battery life as well? And I think they came to the best conclusion with what they have at this point. So I can understand where he's coming from there, because it is a hybrid. There's no way that you're just going to be able to have this super powerful console, this super powerful device in something that small and have it not explode in your hands because of the power draw that it needs to have. The fact that it's such a low wattage but it outputs pretty much power to where you can see console level ports, PS4, Xbox One, that's actually pretty impressive in its own right. And it's going to be interesting to see how Nintendo takes it, because I do feel that it is going to be adaptive to the future. So if Nintendo wants to add in a supplemental computing device to boost the power of the system, I definitely think that's possible for Nintendo going forward in the future. I did want to talk about one more thing that he did say from the passage here, so I'm going to get back into that. And he talks about how the concept of the Switch and the initial version of it. So let's go ahead and get into that as well. So, quote, "We are always thinking about new hardware, and when we started working on this plan about 3 years ago, since then there have been a lot of discussions between our staff, and we tried a lot of different things. Nintendo's concept of social experience for the game systems we have developed in the past has been to provide a chance to play games together in your living room, to adjust that to the world as it is today. We decided that an unfettered experience that can be enjoyed anywhere would ultimately maximize the number of people who can enjoy your games and be the most fun, so we decided on that design." So that's another thing, of course, the late Satoru Iwata, that was his idea and his concept, and of course was moved forward by Takahashi and Koizumi-san and Mr. Kimishima. So all of these guys have done all of this to bring this type of system together. But it's interesting because I think out of all of Nintendo's concepts and designs that they've thought of in the past decade or so, this is probably the most solid one when it comes to what it can actually do for Nintendo's games going forward as far as the amount of games. Because really what you're going to see is that you're going to see a lot of the 3DS development move over to the Nintendo Switch, since it can be dedicated as a portable. Nintendo has already said, yep, developers can just have it as a portable if they want it to, with certain games being portable mode only. So I do feel that this was probably the best route for them after what happened with the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. You always had a lot of back and forth infighting between customers saying, oh, well, why shouldn't this game be on here? Why shouldn't this game be on here? Why do I have to buy a virtual console game again? And why do I have to buy an eShop game again? And then you had developers that were like, man, we have to make a game for the 3DS, then we have to make a game for the Wii U. They're not the easiest to develop for. They have completely different architectures. Like, this is annoying. So the fact that Nintendo kind of just integrated everything, I think just made everything easier for everyone, and the concept really just does fit what Nintendo's trying to do, and it is pretty much a mobile marketing machine, just like the Nintendo 3DS is. But the Nintendo Switch is more than anything, since it is an all-in-one when it comes to a Nintendo experience. The portable and the console built in, play wherever you want, play with someone else right there without lugging around another controller. So I do feel that this is an important aspect for Nintendo, and this is probably, like I said, one of their best designs that they've come up with at this point. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Let me know what you guys think about the articles in the comment section below. Also make sure you hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you PE Ninjas for the next video. Peace!